Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gents. Want to do a quick video on how to do today's assignment. Okay, so slide 2, you've already seen this video. If you've already seen this video, then you know here's the video for slide 2. But slide 3, okay, here's the point of today's lesson. Okay, it's all about recognizing that you can use graphs or to make a table and table to make a graph in regards to slope. So look here, we have an x and a y. This table, the slope table, has these points, but you'll notice these 2 points are missing. Okay, how can we get those points? Well, we could look at our graph. We follow the arrow. Okay, so we look here and we have a graph that has these points. And how can we make a table from these graphs? Well, we could take those points and follow it and make a table. So you see it goes backwards and forwards. Now, since I'm missing these 2 points, why don't I look at the graph to get them? So I see -2, -2. I see -1, -1. I see 0, I see 0, 0. But what was 1's pair? 1 goes with what? In this case, 1 goes with 1. What goes with 2? 2 goes with 2. Or I could have done the change in y over the change in x, which is what slope is. Starting from 0 to get to, or starting from -1 to get to 0, I would add 1. And to get from -1, I would add 0 over here. So our change in y over our change in x is 1 over 1. So it's going up by 1 on both sides. An example of that is here as well. You'll see that my slope table points match the slope graphs. All right. In green, we have the ordered pair -1, -2, -1, -2. In purple, we have 0, 0, and on a graph, 0, 0. In white, we have 1, 2, and on our graph, 1, 2. In red, we have 2, 4, and on our graph, 2, 4. All of our slope table points make the table and the graph. Okay. So looking at this table and graph, what is the slope? Well, our slope is the change in y over the change in x. Now, this is where it becomes good for you. Is it better for you to look at a table, or is it better for you to look at a graph? On a graph, this looks scary, but it would just simply be the change in y, so 1, 2, over the change in x, 1. So 2 over 1. But some of you looked at that and panicked. So then look at your table. How do I get from 0 to 2? I would add 2. Well, how do I get from 0 to 1? I add 1. So it's 2 over 1. So our table would be 2 over 1. Or the slope of this table or graph would be 2 over 1. And what's the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is the point at which it crosses the y-axis. So the y-axis goes up and down. It crosses right in the center. But again, you might look at this and panic, or you might look at it and love it. But luckily, we have a table. And on the table, it's when x is 0. Just like on a graph, it's when x is 0. So when x is 0, our y was 0. So the y-intercept is 0. And over here, we create a slope equation. So we'd get y is equal to 2x. It could be 2 over 1x plus 0. Now, do I need to put the plus 0? No. But can I? Yes. Do I need to put over 1? No. But can I? Yes. So all of that just becomes y equals 2x. You all are responsible for doing the exact same thing on slides 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 and 11. Okay? Notice that on certain ones, you'll have to fill out the missing table, but on others, you'll have to fill out the missing values on the graph. You can kind of tell by where the question is. If it's on the here with the table, then you need to fill out the points on the table. If the question is with the graph, then you need to fill out the points with the graph. Okay? So starting with this first one, what are the missing values? Well, again, I can use a graph to make a table or a table to make a graph. But since I'm missing information on our table, let me look at the graph. I have -4, 0 right there. Perfect. I have -2, 1, which is over here. -2, 1. Ooh, but I need 0. What goes with 0? 0, 2. Boom. What goes with 2? 3. Perfect. Let's make sure. 2, 3. Oh, beautiful. But what goes with 4? Starting at the origin, go over 4 and up. Oh, went over to 4. Boom. So what is the slope? Well, slope is found by doing the change in y over the change in x. So on a table, 0 to 1 is plus 1. -4 to -2 is plus 2. So I have -1 over 2. Or 1 over 2, positive 1 over 2. What is the y-intercept of this table or graph? Well, y-intercept is when x is 0. So at x is 0, y was 2. Boom. And the same thing goes here. On the y-axis, it crosses at 2. So our slope equation would be y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Last slide that I'll do for y'all. Slide 6. Here the question is on the graph. What are the missing values? And it tells me I have 3 points to plot. Well, once again, I can use my graph to make a table or my table to make a graph. So on the table, let's just match them all up. Do I have -9 one place already? -9. Oh, sorry. Let me go over to -9 and go up to 1. Is that placed already? No. So then that's one of my spots. Boom. Do I have -6, 2 placed already? Let me go over to -6, 2. Is that placed? Nope. Well, then that's the other spot I'm missing. And last but not least, do I have -3, 3 placed? Let me go over. -3, 3. Nope, not placed. Boom. There it is. So those are all my points, ladies and gents. And that's how I can use a graph or a table to find or make my slope. However, you could have also just looked at the points that you had and said, hey, it's going up 1 over 3. So every single time it needs to go up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. Change in y of 1, change in x of 3. Change in y of 1, change in x of 3. Change in y of 1, change in x of 3. So my slope would be 1 over 3, and the y-intercept would be 3. My slope equation is y equals 1/3 x plus 3. That is how you do today's assignment, ladies and gents. Finish through slide 11, and you are good to go. Again, the idea is that you can use a table to make a graph or a graph to make a table for slope.